Hey YouTube, welcome back to DBSCG, and today we are doing another Dragon Ball Super Fusion World Archetype breakdown, this time on the Ginyu Force. There's a lot of pros to this archetype, but there's also some cons that I think will take some clever deck building to get around. So with that being said, I want to set the like goal for this video at 100 likes, and past that, on the Patreon, I will soon be doing a giveaway for the full art SRs from Starter Deck 1 and 2. I was lucky enough to pull them from my promo packs, and if you guys want to know the difference between the normal and the full art, you can see the border is gone, text box is gone, just full art card. Amazing. Let me know if you'd be interested in that in the comments. And then last but not least, if you want to help support me, this channel, this brand, I have a Dragon Ball only channel where I play games, talk about the manga, the anime, all sorts of things. If you just go in the description, click that link, maybe like a couple videos, it would help a lot. So with that being said, let's hop into the Ginyu breakdown. Alright, so first and foremost, we are going to start with the Ginyu leader. Alt art on this front side looks bussin', but no, realistically, 15k power like normal. When attacking, draw one card, awaken when your life is at 4 or less, switch up to one of your energy to active mode, then flip this card over. So this is the only leader that has an untapped energy effect when it flips over, which is good, and it's also going to get into something that we're going to get into later. So next, you actually have Awaken Ginyu, and yeah, 20k base power, amazing art. But no, when when attacking, draw one card, activate main once per turn, pay 3 energy, discard 2 cards, and yeah, you can just switch all of your battle cards with Ginyu Force in their special traits and switch them to active mode. This is both very, very, very cool. It's an interesting effect because it looks powerful, but at the same time, we do have to take into consideration the pool of Ginyu cards, and we also have to look at the fact that we did tap 3 and discard 2. So this is an effect you should be able to use, every turn, because you have to have a board intact that's already attacked to be able to capitalize off of this effect. So we're going to go through the cards at this deck's disposal and weave in a couple cards that I think are also kind of essential, and then we'll talk about this effect as a whole and what I think this deck is going to be able to do for the meta based off of my testing and some just theory crafting past that testing. So first card here, we've got Ginyu. He is a 2 cost. I put this guy first because he is the bread and butter of the deck. You need him to go off as many times as possible. On play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 non-Ginyu card with Ginyu Force and special traits, add it to your hand, place the rest to the bottom of your deck in a random order. So this guy is going to be able to be played for 2 and then play another one. Note that he is 20k for a 2-drop with an effect, and he's going to give 0 combo power because he is searching and he's a 20k for 2. However, he's going to be able to go 5k over a normal leader, and he's going to go actually, neutral with an awakened leader. So very, 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 very strongly stacked card. Next, we've got a 1-drop, Jace. Jace says permanent your turn. If you have a total of 3 or more cards with Ginyu Force and their special traits amongst your leader and battle cards, this card gains plus 5k power. Now, because it doesn't say other, all you need is 1 Ginyu Force on the board for this guy to be a 1-drop 20k on your turn. That's going to be your leader, a singular Ginyu card, and then Jace. On top of that, you could be on 2 energy and play 2 Jaces, and they're both going to be 20k as long as you're using this leader because it counts your leader and your battle cards. Very, very small. However, on your turn or your opponent's turn, it's going to go back down to a 15k, making him very easy to remove by swinging in general. Generally, your opponent's leader swing is just going to take care of this card if it turns sideways, so be mindful of that. Now, this next one, Goldo is a 5k attacker, so he's not really going to be attacking. He's got cost 2, 10k combo value, but activate main, switch this card to rest mode, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards, and they can't switch to active mode during your opponent's turn. This is a very, very, very cool card, mainly because it's going to be able to tap down stuff way above its pay rate. Your opponent plays their 5k and swings and you stop it, but okay, you played a Goldo and you're gonna tap it, and then your opponent cannot untap that card. So that's going to be actually a very, very, very cool effect to use, and it's going to put the kibosh on a lot of your opponent's aggression when used correctly. Next, we have Birder. Birder's a 20k vanilla 2-drop 10k combo value. He's a vanilla because I guess nobody cares about Birder at Bandai. So yeah, we're going to kind of move on from that, right? Either way, he's just something that you can combo with easily. He's something you can play easily. He's a 20k with no conditions. That's just pretty much where he lies. Next, you have got easily, and I say this with no hesitation, easily the most important member of the Ginyu Force in this deck outside of the first 2-drop Captain Ginyu himself, and this is Raykum. Raykum is a 20,000 power 3-drop that says on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, and then play up to 1 battle card with a cost of 2 or less and Ginyu Force and its special traits from your hand. So this guy is able to play himself for 3 and then play Captain Ginyu for 2, and you search the top 5. You know, you can play for 3, then you can play Burner for 2 20k attackers. You can play this guy for 3, you can play Goldo and just tap something. You see where I'm getting at here? Like, yes, Raykum is a wonderful card, not only just because he self-awakens, but he is going to be able to just play a plethora of your Ginyu Force cards, maximizing your energy. Now, this is pretty cool because he can't trip into himself. You can't Raykum into Raykum, but you can Raykum into any of the Ginyu Force that we just talked about previously. Now, the next card is actually a really interesting card as well. We have another 3-drop, 20k power, and this guy's actually got 10k combo value as well as some of as like the vanilla, and you know, it's pretty neat. But on play, you add up to 1 extra with Ginyu Force. In its special traits from your drop to your hand. You're gonna find these are 3 extras, and 2 of them are extremely important to strategy. 1 of them really depends on how the deck is built, but these are the Ginyu cards, okay? And then the last shebang with the most sick alt art, like this is in my top 5 alt arts of this game so far, you have the Ginyu Force SR. This is another 2-drop 20k, and this one says on play, if you have 3 or more battle cards with Frieza's army and their special traits, switch up to 2 of your energy to active mode, and you can't play Ginyu for the turn. This is going to be very interesting because this card is going to essentially add a body and then refund its cost. So if you have 3 energy open, you know, and you have a board full of 6 Ginyu Force cards, and you play this card for 2, untap 2, you're just adding another body on the board before activating your leader's effect after your entire board is swung through. And now the cool thing that we're going to get into when it comes to this is that this deck is able to spit out a bunch of things. If you notice, everything is like 2 and 3 costs, allowing you to play a lot of cards quickly. Raykum allows you to play 1 from hand without paying its cost, whereas the Ginyu SR that we just went over allows you to play itself and then play another 2-drop. Unless you want to use the energy for other things. So next we are going to talk about cards that actually help out the deck to some capacity, and the first one that we're going to talk about is going to be a pool. If you guys haven't noticed, all Ginyu Force are Frieza's army. So when you have a card like a pool that says activate main, switch this card to rest mode, look at the top card of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Frieza's army and its special traits, and add it to your hand, place the remaining cards at the top of your deck, you're always going to be able to fish out a Ginyu Force card using this. On top of that, it is a 15k swinger if you need it. On top of that, it is a 10k combo value card. So this is going to be able to do quite a lot with what you're doing. You're going to be able to search off the top of your deck quite often. You're going to be able to defend yourself with it. It just slots in effortlessly, and that is why I think it's pretty tight. So the next card we're going to go over is actually going to be now you see the power of the Ginyu Force. This is a really cool card. It's a 1 cost and activate main. If you have 2 or more battle cards with the Ginyu Force and their special traits, draw 2 cards. So a 1 cost to +1 is pretty cool. It is a +1. You're getting rid of a card in your hand, you're drawing 2 cards, net +1, and all you have to do is have 2 Ginyu Force on the board. So this is pretty tight. This is a general card just to speed through your deck as if this game needed more help already, but it should help you build consistency. Now, we are going to get into Bonds of the Ginyu Force. This is easily one of the most important cards of the deck. So this says, activate battle, choose your leader or up to 1 of your battle cards. It gains plus 10k power for the battle. Then that card gains 5k power for the battle for each card with Ginyu Force and its special traits amongst your leader or your battle cards. This means that just playing it on an empty board with your leader makes it a 15k swing. A very good number. This is the same number as your Kamehamehas, your Gallic Guns, your Death Balls, or you know, things like that. Your gigantic meteors before they get their secondary conditions. But the real player of this, like the real point of this card, is that when you have an established board, this card goes crazy. Let's just say that you, on turn, I don't know, 3, you played Raykum into Burger, all right? And you swing with your leader for 15k and you draw a card, you swing with Burger and Raykum for that, and they don't die the next turn, you know, you defend them. The following turn, you, on 4 energy, could just be like, okay, I'm gonna play another Raccoon, all right, and that Raccoon's gonna take me from 4 to 5, all right, and then that Raccoon is also going to play a Jace, you know, or a Ginyu and search top 5. Then we're gonna flip over, awaken, untap an energy. At this point, you now have your leader, the first Raccoon, the birder, the second Raccoon, and the other card you played. That's 5 Ginyu Force members. So this card is going to literally boost you 10k, and then it's going to boost you another 25k because you have 5 Ginyu Force cards on the board between your leader and 4 battle cards. So this is going to boost you 25 on top of that. This is crazy. This is a 35k swing at that point. And this is going to be the card that pushes through damage. Anytime you have an established board, if Bonds of the Ginyu Force hits the board, your opponent is literally going to be forced to take that damage, or whatever you swung at is dying. And that is going to be something that's insane to think about going into this. And it only gets worse. If they cannot contain your board, this card's going to go insane. Just imagine if you had 6, 7 Ginyu Force on the board. Not likely, but if it did happen, you would be able to play this card and just go up an incredible amount. So yeah, this is pretty bad. Now with those 2 cards, you will be able to get them back with the 3-drop Ginyu by fishing a Ginyu Force extra from your drop to your hand. So let's just try to remember that that's going to be a recyclable card, but this card is a super combo on steroids. And the fact that it can be used defensively or offensively, if your board is established, it makes this weird like situation where you as a player, as an opposing player, you need to get rid of every Ginyu Force card on the board before you start shotgunning if they have open energy, because you do not want to shotgun or try to make your calculations and get blown out by a single or maybe sometimes even 2 copies of Bonds of the Ginyu Force in a super combo if you shotgunned over 100k. That's just insane. So yeah, next we're gonna move over to Supernova. Supernova is not a Ginyu Force card, but I think in a deck like this where most of your cards are 20k flat, you need a little bit of oomph without having to get rid of your entire hand, because your entire hand can be what makes your bodies, what puts them on the full the board turn after turn after turn. So what you're gonna want, my cat is, I don't know, doing something in the background. What you're gonna want is to be able to make the most out of your energy by playing bodies and then boost without destroying your hand. And Supernova is a great card for that. Not only is Supernova going to do that, it's going to put pressure on something by not allowing it to untap, so they can't actually use it to pressure you the following turn. Very good card. Next we have, and last, we actually have Body Change, and Body Change is actually a very, very cool card, but I think you need to play it in conjunction with a strong boss, okay? The one that comes to mind instantaneously, because there's plenty of 4-cost vanillas, but the one that comes to mind instantaneously is the Frieza SR, the 40k for 4. That's an excellent target to Body Change, because just by using swinging with that Frieza, your opponent at that point needs to actually they need to actually stop you by dropping a super combo plus. Either that, or they're just going to come way out of pocket for that combo. So I do think Body Change is nice, but I think Body Change isn't inherently a Ginyu Force card. It is more of a yellow card in general when you have some good bosses, especially seeing that this card doesn't none of the Ginyu cards have on swing effects. So when it comes to Ginyu, what do I think? I think that it's going to be a little bit of an odd deck. I think Ginyu will be low-key a high roller deck. And the reason why I say that is because Ginyu is going to require you to open up a lot of crucial cards. The 2-drop Ginyu and the 3-drop Raccoon are some of the most crucial cards to there. If you open up both of them, you're gonna have a massive swing turn where you put 2 20ks on board and search another Ginyu. I think the Ginyu extra card goes a very long way. The issue I'm currently having is realistically just the ability to actually close out the games, because on the turns that since you're playing at your field and none of these guys really have that much longevity and staying power, 15ks get wiped off the board very quickly. 20ks also don't have a great time staying on the board too often. So when you are able to when your opponent is able to pick apart your board, you have to replenish it. How do you replenish it? Expending cards from hand. If you're spinning cards from hand, you won't want to combo much because those are cards you could have put back on the board. So I do feel like you're going to have to do your best to maximize your supernovas, your death balls from the starter deck, your Bonds the Ginyu Force. But except the Bonds the Ginyu Force are like super events. You want to save those because when they go off, they go off. Now, that being said, this deck does have the potential to play things like Golden Frieza, and then if you have, you know, enough cards, like let's say you slow roll your Awakening and you have 5 Ginyu cards on the board, you could swing with everything. Play your Golden Frieza, Awaken with your leader, you know, and then swing and then use Bonds the Ginyu Force and just add an extra 45 on top of it, you know. We have to see how it pans out more in testing. From what I have felt so far, Ginyu's a little weird against blue because blue bounces a bunch of stuff, but Ginyu can keep replaying it, and if you bounce a Raccoon, like so help me, you know. On top of that, you have a pretty actually okay green matchup. There are some times where you can really just hammer at green before they have a chance to get off the ground, and you tip that point from when they get to their Awakening point, and then they have to start just bleeding cards not to die. So I think that Ginyu has some very good interactions when your removal are kind of high end. However, red is going to be where Ginyu kind of suffers. There's a lot of -15 effects. There's a lot of conjunctions of different abilities that can -15 to 20. Ginyu is going to get wrecked. One Beerus play is going to send all of Ginyu's field to the trash, and there's nothing you can do about that. So I do think that this deck will be a good rogue effect. I think it'll have a good space in the you know, get it off my, or like I'm gonna blitz you, you know. But I do think in removal heavy decks like red, it's going to have a lot of trouble. So yeah, that's my summary of this one. I really do think that this is going to be a fun deck. The question is, what more Ginyu cards will we see in the future? That's going to be a huge point of contention when it comes to this, because this deck kind of needs more support. It's there, but it's not there yet. We need a Birder and Jace card that can be played, you know. We need another Goldo card that isn't just like completely defensive. We need we do have cards like the Frog Ginyu, which is another Ginyu card you could put in here. It's not necessarily like essential. You'll probably run it because it is a Ginyu card and it does count. But yeah, I think this deck could use another couple cards, you know. We shall see in the future. So with that being said, I want to close this out. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, I am going to be doing the Patreon giveaway for the 2 full art SRs, and on top of doing the Patreon giveaway for the 2 full art SRs, I also will be doing so much more in this game. We're gonna get the actual like streams going once the client gets put up, and we're just gonna have a really good time here in Universe X. So thank you. I'm gonna go to the Patreon appreciation page, or point in the video, and then we're gonna close it out. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Later. Welcome back to the Patreon appreciation spot, where we thank everybody that goes the extra mile to support the channel, support the brand. Here I'd like to put things that are a little too long to put in video form, and we're going to be focusing on One Piece content as well as Fusion World content coming up. The Uta article should be dropping very, very, very soon, and we are also doing a double Uta deck starter giveaway, as well as a full art SR for the Fusion World starter deck giveaway with the Goku and the Vegeta. So I hope you guys stay tuned for those. And with that being said, I'd like to give a special vocal shout out to the Realm of Xers, the people that go the extra mile, the Brars, the Brysars, the Big Daddy Flapjacks. Thank you for giving the extra oomph to this channel. And I will see all of you guys in a future video and or article later.